Good Shabbos, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. We welcome our members and guests to Temple Ohev Shalom. Warm welcome to our friends from Bethel who are probably watching on live stream or not. So welcome to both congregations today. Let's begin with a cleansing breath. We can let go of any of the aggravation of the past week. Wonderful. And let's begin on page 121. We'll light our Shabbat candles and welcome the Sabbath. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Let's turn to page 123 for Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehila lemikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta Mikol Hamim V'Shabbat Kodshecha Be'ahava uvratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Page 124. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to younger straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Shalom Aleichem, page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sechem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now let's rise, please, for Baruch Hu on page 146. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, Asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitfuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et ha'kochavim, b'mishmorotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, kolel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil Ben Yom Uvein Laila Adonai Tsevaot Shemo El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Let's continue together on page 150. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema, page 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. Let's continue together with Ve'ahavta, page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shiftecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yedecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'item kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Yam bam 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 bibi bam ya ba 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 bim bam yam bam 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 bibi bam ya ba 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 bim bam ay 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 ya ba 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 bim bam ay 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 ya ba 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 bim bam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar b'kodesh, nora tehiloto sefel, nora tehiloto sefel, yam bam 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 bibi bam, ya ba 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 bim bam, yam bam 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 bibi bam, ya ba 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 bim bam, ay 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 ay, ya ba 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 bim bam, ay 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 ay, ya ba 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 bim bam. Let's continue together at the top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru, page 162. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Beni uven b'nei Yisrael, ot hi leolam, Oti leolam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Let's rise now for Tefillah, page 164. Adonai, sefatai tiftachu fi tehillatcha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Lifnei V'nehem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Ata Gibor, Ata Kadosh, v'Shimcha Kadosh, u'Kdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. Let's continue together at the top of page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth, May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Page 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Continue with Shalom Rav at the top of page 178. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki atah hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atah hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol ed uvechol sha'a bishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Let's pause now for a moment of silent reflection. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom. Well, I'm happy to be back on the Bima with you after a relaxing 2 weeks in Florida. Everybody needs time to recharge, and I'm grateful that I was able to get away for a little while and take it easy. So now that I'm back, I think it's important that we talk a little bit about what happened outside of Fort Worth, Texas when I was away. I wrote about this in the Temple Bulletin, so you may have already read the article, but if you didn't, I think it's important that we understand ourselves here at Temple Ohev Shalom in light of the hostage crisis that happened down in Texas. I just want you to know that we take security very seriously here. And while we don't broadcast to the outside world what our plans are and the steps we have in place if, God forbid, something does happen, I want everyone to feel rest assured that security at our congregation and at Bethel as well is a top priority. At the same time, I think we all agree to a certain extent that we don't want our synagogue building to be a fortress either. That was the point of view that Rabbi Citron Walker ascribed to when the homeless man showed up at services looking for shelter. After all, as Jews, we are commanded to take care of the stranger. But that doesn't mean that we put ourselves at risk while we are making the world a better place. That's just not smart. So we do the best we can when we find marginalized people in our community, but we need to take care of them while keeping our own safety as a priority. Now, I can't begin to presume that the rabbi in Fort Worth made a mistake by opening his doors to a homeless man who turned out to be a terrorist. He probably assumed that he was doing God's work. Quite honestly, I think we're a little more careful here. And I just want you to know that I wouldn't risk our safety by inviting a homeless man into our building for a cup of tea. There are social services organizations in Harrisburg that take care of the homeless, and inviting the stranger into our home simply isn't an option we can afford. Am I being too harsh? I don't think so. We do our best when it comes to giving tzedakah, just as many of us have been working hard to welcome the Afghan refugees into our community. We are not heartless, and we do believe in tikkun olam, but we also believe in keeping ourselves safe. The Temple Board has a committee that is always reevaluating our security, not only with the COVID pandemic, but also with respect to our physical safety. And I'm very grateful that we are vigilant. So my message this Shabbat is that we need to find a balance. We need to balance our mission of repairing the world with our need to keep our communities safe. I don't think we have any other choice. While I'm hopeful that what happened in Texas won't happen here, I also want all of us to remain vigilant. We need to keep our eyes and ears open and make sure that our synagogue is a safe place for our members and our guests. And if there are times when we may seem to be a little less welcoming to the stranger, it's only because we are busy taking care of our own security. We are grateful that the outcome in Fort Worth was a positive one when the hostages were returned safely to their families. In the future, we will remain vigilant to protect our own safety, while at the same time remember our need to repair the world. It may be a tough balancing act, but it is something we all need to remember. Shabbat Shalom. Let's turn to page 371. We'll ask God's blessings on those in our community and our families who are sick and in need of healing. Prayers are offered for the speedy recovery of Larry Friedman, Pam Kastner, Florence Cohen, Susan Sherburne, Phil Kessler, Bonnie Heller-Stein, and anyone you may wish to name at this time. And we say together, Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim. We praise you, Adonai, our God, who heals the sick. And we all say, Amen. Mishaberach prayer, page 371. Mishaberach avotenu mekor habracha le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. A few announcements. Tomorrow morning, we are having Tat Shabbat in the Lehrman Chapel at 10:30. If you have little ones, make sure you bring your mask, sign in and sign out. No snack yet, because there's no food in the building, but you know, we're doing our best. Services at Bethel tomorrow morning. What time? Well, there's services tomorrow morning at Bethel. You can check their website, you know, whatever time. They usually have services at Bethel. Sunday morning, we have religious school beginning at 9:30, confirmation on Zoom at 10 o'clock, and our book review on Zoom at 11 o'clock. So I look forward to seeing all of you on Zoom. Any other information you can always find on the Bethel website or the Yohev Sholem website, and you can find more information about our congregations as you see fit. Bethel is on Zoom tomorrow. Oh, good. So don't show up at Bethel tomorrow. Show up on Zoom. Okay, very good. All right, let's turn now to page 586. We'll continue with our service by chanting Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, latet gedula le'otzev reshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, v'lo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'morim, lifnei melech malchei hamlochim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Please be seated. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This Shabbat, we remember the following yardsides from Bethel Temple: Ada Abrams, Jaime Applebaum, Rosalie Apple, Joseph Bash, Herman Beck, Joseph Berger, Jean Bloom, Gertrude Blum, Annie S. Cohen, John B. Cohen, Rose Cohen, Shirley Cohen, Hannah Cohn, Lillian Danzig, William Douglas, Jack Ellis, Anna Fradkin, Harris Friedman, Michael Friedman, Louis Gadlin, Leonard Goldring, Joseph Goldstein, Louis Israel, Esther S. Iskowitz, Rachel Javits, Jenny Kassoff, Israel W. Kleinman, Kate Krakauer, Emmanuel Mall, Bern Margolis, Jacob Morris, Abraham Morrison, Molly Morrison, Kana Polyak, Saul Prezant, Pearl Z. Prauser, Goldie Reiner, Fanny Roberts, William Rosen, Dorothy Rosenberg, Minna Rosenthal, Jaime Rudolph, Samuel A. Schwartz, Abraham Silberg, William Silverberg, Edwin Singer, Irving Sclaver, Edith Smith, Aaron Sussman, Eileen Cohen-Taylor, Betty Trachtenberg, Ruth Udell, Dorothy Ulian, Morris Weinstein, LaSalle S. Weinstock, Alex Wormser, Ida Yaffe, and Bethel extends condolences to the Abel Millman family on the passing of Dorothy G. Abel. And from Temple Ohev Sholem, we remember Morris Baturin, Joseph Baum, Isidore Seibel, Bertram Goldberg, Hannah L. Goldberg, Helen Goldberg, Evelyn Goldstein, Thania Gordon, Louis Gordon, Sarah J. Gross, Marco Grovich, Dennis Kessler, Harry E. Pike, Aaron Rokoff, Bernard Rubin, Bernard Sack, Donald Schwartz, Anna S. Sherman, Carl A. Wagenheim, Celia Y. Yaverbaum, and we remember the recent passing of Floyd Baturin, husband of Keegan Baturin, Dorothy G. Abel, and Morton David Goldberg, father of Laura Culler. For those that have been named, or for those you may name within your own hearts, we ask the congregation to please rise as the Mourner's Kaddish is recited on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad divra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagalov izman kariv yimaru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei kudsho barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran b'yalma v'yimaru amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru amen, oses shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all of us who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved, and we say, Amen. Our closing hymn is Adon Olam. It's found on page 625. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivrach le'et nasa v'chef sachol azay melech shemo nikra Adon Olam ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora Adon Olam ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh b'tifara Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivrach le'et nasa v'chef sachol azay melech shemo nikra Adon Olam biya'ado afkid ruchi be'et ishan ve'a'ira Adon Olam ve'im ruchi geviati Adon oli ve'lo ira Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivrach le'et nasa v'chef sachol azay melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. Now let's all rise, please. Take the hand or the arm of those who are near you. Perfect. Let me ask God's blessings on our congregational family. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our mothers and fathers, grant us a Shabbat filled with joy and rest, and a week ahead filled with good health and peace. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Be well, everyone. Stay safe. Thank you. Good Shabbos.